Yo, what's going on, Internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Gaming Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers. Our things are not fine on episode 99. Now, before we get into the show, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which is about to risk it for a biscuit out in public, that COVID-19, UTX COVID-19 the Don. Say what up to the people.
Hello. Man, this is crazy. Not only what's going on, but on our side, we are literally one episode from 100. It's felt like it's been forever just to get to this point. So, I mean, I guess that's a positive to what else is going on. But yeah, we're here.
Yeah, it's funny. People keep asking me, yo, you guys gonna do something special for episode 100, like in my Twitch chat and shit? I'm like, you gonna share the video? Let's start with that. Like, so we appreciate if you share the podcast. You know, we might have something special in the works one day. Anyways, my second co-host, he's ready to contribute to at least 1/3 to the conversation. Be fully attentive and sit up in his mic. Gaming Ethos, say what up to the people.
Hi, buddy. How you doing?
Don't talk to me like I'm a dog.
No, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing? 99 episodes. It's been a long journey, but glad we made it so far without killing each other.
True. And if you want to appear on the next episode, be sure to back us on Patreon at patreon.com/GI updates. Also, take the show on the go. The podcast is available on Spotify, Apple, SoundCloud, and all other major podcast outlets. Be sure to download the GI app, available on iOS and Android. It's free. Just search Illuminaughty on your respective app store. Keep in mind that we spell Illuminaughty with the word naughty as in naughty or nice. And by the way, since the last podcast, we dropped some merch. Cop a GI t-shirt. You can cop one on designedbyhumans.com. Just search Gaming Illuminati at designedbyhumans.com and we'll be the first thing to come up. It's a GI versus everybody t-shirt. Cop that GI merch. Show your support. Now, before we get into the show, know that the free games that are going to be available in June on the PS4, you get Call of Duty World War II. Some great that game has created some great moments with wings, so make sure to download that. And then and Star Wars Battlefront 2. That's not actually a bad lineup for free games on the PS4. On Xbox, you get the original version of Destroy All Humans, which I think is interesting because the remaster is coming out soon. Shantae and the Pirate Curse, Sign Mora, and Coffee Talk. On the Epic Game Store, you can get Overcooked for free right now. If in case you missed it, well, you missed it anyway, doesn't matter, but the Borderlands collection was free last week, and then there's a mystery game that's going to be free next week. Who knows what it's going to be, but we shall see. And then on Twitch Prime, there's a bunch of free games that you can get for PC, a bunch of SNK games like Samurai Showdown, King of Fighters, games that were really popular back in JG's heyday when he was a kid, but he's an old man now. So
back in my heyday, right?
Yeah. Did you play Samurai Showdown, old head?
I'm not gonna respond to you calling me old head. It's like I'm not Parker singing. Come on now. But yes, I did play the original Samurai Showdown.
True. Nah, Samurai Showdown 2 was actually a classic. Anyways, starting conversation. Apex Legends Season 5 has dropped since the last podcast. We did like a little preview, talking about what we thought about Season 4 and then what we wanted to see from 5. Since then, the new character just dropped. There's been some map changes, meta changes. What are some thoughts on that, JG?
I mean, I actually feel like this is kind of one of the more mid seasons. I think kind of the saving grace for me as far as like something that's different would be the co-op missions that you do, aka the Loba quest, in order to unlock, I think like after everything they've been given like little charms that you put on your guns and stuff, and then once you end up completing everything, you can get special weapon skins or whatnot. So I think that's the saving grace for it. But other than that, like I'm not really feeling the Kings Canyon rework. Like it's cool, but it really just makes me miss World Edge even more. And they made us play the Kings Canyon rework for 2 weeks until they put World's Edge back on the rotation. So it's fine, but I still think a lot of people would just rather, you be able to choose which one you want to play on. But again, I understand why they make the change, because if they gave it a choice, then nobody would play Kings Canyon. I think a lot of people just liked it for the hype. They brought it back, and then people again just realized how much they like the new map more. Loba's all right. But again, like with her main teleport and stuff, like you just got to be extremely strategic, because a lot of people are complaining about the animation time before you can pick out your weapon again. So that's a big thing. I don't know if they're ever going to change that, because I'm sure that's by design. Because if not, then she would be super OP with that. So I mean, she's cool. Like it's not a character that I would play with every time, but I can see like the the usefulness with her. I do like her store, her black market store, and it's not like super OP as far as like the range, because you can clearly see the range, and then other people can see it on the map too, and they can access it. So we did find that out. So again, there are like pros and cons. So it does balance out with all of her abilities. So Loba's all right. She's an all right character. I'm not mad at it. But like just the map, like I'm not the biggest fan of the map changes. They're all right, but still, like I don't feel like it's enough for me to be like, yo, like this map is fire compared to like when World's Edge came out, because I really enjoyed that. As far as the meta changes, they brought Skull Piercer back. So, I mean, people are already still using the Wingman. Like, the Wingman never really died or got nerfed to hell. They've actually made the Wingman progressively better throughout the seasons. So now the Skull Piercer is back. Like, people are literally just cracking your skulls again. So, it's like a love-hate, because I don't like the Wingman because I'm just terrible with it. But people are, like, going insane with the Wingman now. But I like that longbow with the Skull Piercer. So I'm glad that they did bring that back. But I would also like the turbocharger back. I don't know if they will ever bring that back fully, but I would like that back because I still like the Havoc with the turbocharger. I thought that it was real nice. And then let's see what else.
Did they ever actually explain why they removed the turbocharger? Because they originally said in that old patch notes they removed it for lore reasons. I don't feel like they ever explained that.
They said also that like with the turbocharger and the Havoc specifically, like the Havoc is just such a strong assault rifle, and people were finding out and they were taking advantage of it, so they took it off just to kind of balance the Havoc out. And then of course they put the devotion in a care package, so then that was another thing, but that automatically had the turbocharger on it, so they ended up just taking it off, so you can't use it on the Havoc. You can still use a select fire, but you can't use a turbocharger. I wish that they I know what I was about to say. I wish that they still would have introduced another weapon, and they did explain that in the patch notes. They said if we had too many weapons in the current roster, then it would be too much. It would be oversaturated, and they didn't want to vault any weapons. But I still feel like they should vault. I don't see what their thought process is with that, because we all know if they should vault any weapon, it would be the Mozambique, because that gun will forever be shit. So nobody want to use it. They could have vault that one or done something to it to actually buff it like a long time ago. So I don't care. They can vault weapons if that's how they really feel. I do want some new weapons to the environment. Like I want another SMG or another assault rifle. That's what I prefer, just to keep things a little bit fresh and again, give people a little bit more variety in like what they put in their loadout. So that's one suggestion that I wish that they would have done. And then a lot of people were expecting just another map period, even though technically the Kings Canyon rework did leak, because they just be dynamite and everything, so it did leak early, and I was hoping that it wasn't true. I wish that they would bring another map, and hopefully that is soon in the works. But I see they're pulling the Fortnite, unfortunately, and just doing little reworks to the original maps, and again, it keeps it fresh for a little bit. But just for me personally, I don't really like Kings Canyon like that, so I would have liked to see a new map be introduced. But other than that, man, it's just Apex. Like I feel like as far as like another thing that needs to improve, like would probably be the matchmaking, because the matchmaking is still kind of sketchy. But other than that, man, it's just Apex. Like it's still the same old. Like it's still one of my favorite BRs. I can still play it pretty much every day. And yeah, but Season 5 is just like overall just kind of mid, I would say.
It's funny, like the new quest mode is so irrelevant to me. I didn't even put it on the fucking notes. I forgot it existed. I did the week one, and I was like, yeah, I no longer care. Like,
I think the main thing is because like they don't even have like cutscenes. It's just text.
It's just
so,
text.
Like,
and I wonder because they've known for putting out good animation. Is it because of COVID that they're doing that, or did they do that by design, by choice, just a lazy text screens?
Sure it's COVID. Like
you think so?
I'm almost positive it's COVID.
Because if it was cutscenes, I would play it.
Like they probably would have at least had it. Like I feel like they could have at least added like images of the characters at least, and kind of them like emoting, kind of like how Persona does in their conversations. Like they could have at least done that. But
or like you remember the Black Panther movie from BET, kind of like a stop motion comic, like not like full animation, just a little effort.
It's a little effort, but like yeah, I'm almost positive it's because of COVID. They probably had it planned, and then they realized they just didn't have the time to do it. So. Because you got to think of it like this. They had to make a whole brand new game mode. They had to add AI, which seems like they were testing that for, Bangalore's thing? Because Bangalore had the whole, like, AI things running at you, I think. So they were kind of, like, testing that system in the previous season for that event. And now, like, they probably try to fully implement it. And they probably didn't have enough time and resources to build out, like, a story, cutscene and stuff like that. So, yeah.
True. Get it. What else you got? You want to get off your chest? The one who's played the least out of all of us. What's your thoughts on season 5, Ethos?
I hate to say I was right. Like, it's like that's I'm just being arrogant. I don't know. I just played a little bit of it. I think it's cool. Loba is stronger than I thought she was gonna be, but I don't think she's top tier. I think she's good, and I play her like every single time because she's fun to play. But I don't think she's like compared to Mirage and. I
don't think she's S, but I can make an argument she's probably A tier.
Yeah, she's like right around the middle for me, like right now. Like she could go either way. I think it just depends on like if they whatever they decide. Like if they nerf her, then she's just gonna become mid as hell. But if they keep her the same or buff her, then I think she'll be really good. I think overall this season, kind of what I said, I don't think it really pulled me back. I did play it a couple times. I think like some of the changes on the map are cool. Like the whole like alt charge systems in places. I think that's really good. It makes like the gameplay more frantic. I also noticed, and I think everyone else has noticed too, something about what they did, and I think it's because of the alt charges or something else. I'd be very curious to figure out what it is. Something they did to the game behind the scenes has caused matches to speed up astronomically compared to the previous seasons. And I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. Like, I don't know if you guys felt that, but like, I feel like you'll be playing for like 10, 15 minutes. And the next thing you know, like half the server is dead. And you're just like, what happened? And then you're just already down to like last 5 in like under 30 minutes. So it's faster to me.
I don't know about that. Like it feels faster. It feels the same to me. If anything, I think I would have liked the new map. Like, yeah, I agree with JG. The Kings Canyon is like, like the changes to the map are cool, but it's like I couldn't put my finger on it for like the first week. I was like, why am I not having fun on this map? Because we've been playing ranked, and ranked you can only play on Kings Canyon. And then I remember I was like, oh, it's like it's because you really can't snipe on that map. That map is not made for sniping, and that's how I've always played. So I've basically had to change my whole play style because of it. And then it's weird if you go into casuals, because casuals, they just implemented World's Edge. Then it goes back. Then I have to go back to sniping. And it's like, I wish they would have just kept the World's Edge map, because now it's forcing me to play a certain style, and I don't like that. And then it's like, you might as well just take the snipers off. And literally nobody snipes on fucking Kings Canyon. It's no point to it. So it forced me to, I didn't like that. I don't really care about the Skull Piercer. But I see everybody, like I said, is running the wingman, and I guess, you know, it's not cool because they're hitting me in the face with it, but yeah. But I mean, I think they should bring back the turbocharger if they're going to bring back the Skull Piercer, because I mean, you already nerfed the Havoc and put a little more recoil on it, so might as well just bring back the turbocharger to balance it out even more, because you just keep nerfing it. Put it somewhere in the middle. I'm okay with season 5. I will say that I think Loba's pretty dope. I don't see myself playing her, but I see why people like her, because she's only good if you're playing with someone who's mindful. I feel like, because she gets her ult back so quickly. You can get, if you survive the whole game, you're gonna get her ult like 4 or 5 times. And like, if you play with somebody who plays Loba and they're not mindful of that, like, she can be completely useless. But if you play a bad Loba is really bad, and a good Loba is really good, because when they're actually mindful, then they're constantly stealing loot. So she can be very helpful. So I do like her as a character. It doesn't really fit my play style, but I'm never mad if there's one on the team. But I noticed though during ranked, that like ranked is fucked up. Like since we've been bronze, like we've been in lobbies with Apex Predators, and like there's always diamond players in our lobby, and that's cool if I'm diamond ranked, or I'm Apex or master ranked. But it's kind of annoying when we're in bronze, silver, gold, and we're dealing with that bullshit. I don't know what's going on with that matchmaking. That shit is ass right now. I can argue it probably makes you a better player. It probably has made me a better player over time, because literally we've been sweating since, like, I wanted to have fun in bronze, basically. I'm like, I just wanted to beat people up. I wanted to pub stomp. And then, you know, when we get to gold and platinum, we can start sweating a little bit. But like, we've been sweating since bronze, and like, it's to me, it hasn't been 100% fun. Maybe in the long run it'll make me a better player. I don't know. Overall, it is kind of mid. I like last week I wasn't really playing that much. This week I have been playing a lot. It comes and go, my itch to play. I will say that we haven't gotten any events though, so like it's still kind of early in the season. There's rumored that a new event is coming soon. I don't know if you saw like the videos, like, you know, those hubs that are next to the charge stations, supposedly those are loot bunkers, and like they're gonna open up and you'll be able to go in there and get like rare loot. And there's like some other event coming soon, so it's still kind of beginning of the season, just kind of first impressions. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like once I hit platinum again, I'm probably no longer gonna care about ranked, and then we'll just go on to play something else. But And the good news is Respawn said that this is their most successful season yet. They said that they've retained more players. They have more new players than ever. People say Apex.
It's the thickness.
People say Apex is dead, which is funny because it goes back to what I've been saying. People love to create this metric that if it's not popular on Twitch or like YouTube, then the game is dead. And it's like, nah, it's not the case. Like, some people just play for fun. Your favorite YouTuber not making a video doesn't mean the game's dead.
They need to add crossplay. That should be
I agree.
the number one priority. Like, that's what because I think that's what's causing the rank issue with you running in these people. I think on PC all that's left are these sweats, and that's why you're getting ranked against them. Or that, or the elo system is calculating your previous seasons and like saying, oh well, we know he's a platinum. It's just a reset. So that doesn't make sense to me. I'd still would be like, well, if I'm back at bronze, you should make me go against bronze people so I can build my way out of it. Like, don't like keep my previous MMR and like calculate that to put me against like Apex Predators.
Yeah, and I thought it was just me.
Do that and just keep you there. Then I mean, I
everybody's made that complaint that I know that plays Apex heavy. They've all said the same thing. Like, this is the sweatiest season of rank.
It makes sense.
What's the name? Yeah, I think crossplay would be dope. Also, too, because I'm tired of people in my Twitch chat talking about how good PS4 players and Xbox players are. I really are. I want them to add crossplay so they can get humbled. Because, like I said, I'm not saying that there aren't any good console players. I'm just saying that the average console player is not as good as the average PC player. And I've been on PS4. Every time we get on there and get 15 kills a game, I thought they're so bad. I thought they were. I was shooting at bots, and like I'm ready for crossplay so they can get shut the fuck up. Because the PS4 community, it's not even the Xbox community because they don't got no games anyway. It's the PS4 players. They're just annoying to me, bro. Come on, man, we can compete. Yeah, all right. That's why all the tournaments are on PC. That's all I got to say about Apex.
PS4 players real quick.
PS4 players are just fucking annoying, man. You guys don't even have a good draw distance. You won't even be able to see me coming. That's the crazy part, right? Like, you realize I have a graphical advantage. I can see you before you see me because your PS4 can't render it all. But anyways, yo, Maneater, talk about that game, JG. You played it. That game about that shark.
So Maneater was pretty much what I expected. Like, I expected no more, no less than from the game that I played. It's just one of those games where you're gonna just pick up, play for a little bit, like turn your brain off type of things. Like, it's just fun just to go around and just be the big man in the sea and just destroy shit. Like, that, it was hella fun, like just playing in the beginning. But I'll definitely say, like, one of the main things that's really, really bad is the camera. I hate to say this, but the camera is always one of your worst enemies, and in this game it definitely is. But other than that, like, I don't really care about the story. Like, the story is there is a sort of a story, but I don't think that majority of people are going to like really like get attached to it. You're just going to just be a shark. You're going to level up, get some new moves, end up becoming starting from a pup and turning into an adult and just messing stuff up. So I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, it's really not much to my first impressions of the game. Like, I'm going to beat it eventually, but I've been playing a lot of Apex, so I haven't really been playing a lot of Maneater.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in eating men. What about you, Ethos? Don't laugh, you're immature. It's called Maneater. You're so fucking childish. I don't want to eat Jimmy's John. Relax.
I mean, I thought the game looked cool when we saw it at PC Gamer. I thought the idea of like making a shark RPG was pretty funny to play and a nice gag. It sounds like, according to JG, that there's actually some depth to it. Like, it's not just like a gag game like Ghost Simulator. Like, there's actually like RPG depth to it, and actually
it's not a simulator at all. Yeah.
So like, I think that's really cool. I'd play it if I got my hands on it. I just honestly, I forgot it came out, and then JG was playing and I was watching. I was like, oh, this looks cool. So I'd play it if I had the time to. But I'm busy reading One Piece, so I don't have time.
True. Yeah.
Oh, how's that going?
It's horrible. I regret it every day. Every day I wake up and it just stares at me.
Like, jokes aside, you're actually not enjoying the manga or the anime?
I'm just reading it right now, and like, so far, like, it's solid, but like, it's not like, oh my god, I want to, when you like read something that's really good and you just can't put it down, like, you just want to keep reading it. It's kind of like not like that. It feels like it's kind of like a chore-ish to me right now. Like, people tell me it gets better in the middle, so I'm like trying to just get through the low part of it. So
that's crazy.
It's not bad. It's not bad by any like stretch of the imagination, but it's not this like what these motherfuckers on Twitter be talking about so far. Like, oh, this is the best shit I've ever read and watched in my life. Like,
that's how I feel about Demon Slayer. I watched it and I was not impressed. I did not get what people were hyping up.
Demon Slayer. Like,
the animation is gorgeous in Demon Slayer, top notch, but the actual like premise, the show, like I didn't get it. I was like, what's the hype on this?
Yeah, it doesn't have that much substance to it, in my opinion. Same thing with like Tower. Oh yeah, JD, talk about Tower of God, bro.
How do we get into anime conversation?
Because fuck it, why not? We need shit to talk about. Not? It's a slow news week. Fuck it.
Look, I watched one episode and not even 5 minutes in, I was like, why does this anime look like this? I'm sorry, I know I don't watch that much anime. I'm not like fully versed to talk about anime in depth, but from what I saw, like compared to other animes that I watched in the past, like even like in the 1990s, like those anime look better. So I'm like, what's going on? And I said one thing, literally all the Twitter like jumped on me. They're like, oh my God, it's not about how it looks, JG. Just quiet. Okay, this is true story. Like, okay, just keep watching it. And I'm like, I don't know, man, because my eyes kind of hurt.
Crazy though, because I just put up a teaser, a video of it, because I've heard about the anime. People were telling me to watch it, but I haven't watched any clips of it. I just put up like a teaser clip of it. This I'm not gonna lie, this animation is trash.
It was like, it's a webtoon. It was a webtoon. I was like, okay, I didn't know that.
I think that's like funny though. Hold on, because I always do this. I think that's funny too, because that's one of the main things that people like to put against Black Clover. I'm not watching it because the animation is trash, but then those same people will be like, you need to watch Tower of God even if the animation is trash. Just say you don't like Black Clover, okay? Fucking haters, okay?
But I say that every day. I don't like that shit.
And I respect that. Just admit that you don't like the fucking show, but don't hide behind the animation because they dick riding this show and this animation is trash. And I pulled this shit up in 1 second. I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Yeah, like that was the first thing I noticed. I was like, nah, I can't. Like, there has to be something else, right? And they said that the story is fire, but again, I just can't. I can't take it upon myself to just sit there, like, because I feel like I'm suffering through it. It's like playing on console now, and when I've been playing on PC for years. Not like that. Like I feel like I was getting a headache. I was like, why am I watching this? I just can't do it.
Yeah. I've come to the conclusion anime fans ruin anime for me. They overhype everything.
They do. That's why every single time I follow Simple Code. Every time a new season comes out, whatever people are hyping up the most or like spamming on Twitter about, I literally don't watch it. I wait until like
the truth is probably in the middle. Like I've come to the realization that I'm just a person that's not easily like a lot of people are very easily impressed. I've realized.
They are. A lot of them like see visual shit, or they just see like that's why like Demon Slayer was concerned. Like everyone like lost their shit.
Or that's why they love Uncharted.
Yeah, but there's no and like I talked to like Chaos and I talked to JoJo about Tower of God, and like I haven't like watched all the way through. Like I've seen clips of it. I've seen like episodes here and there, and I've like read a little of it. And it seems like even JoJo was telling me he was just like, yeah, he's like I don't understand what these anime fans are talking about. He's like the story is not that good. He's like if you read the manga, you realize how bad the anime is from a story standpoint. Like it cuts content. There's a lot of stuff that explains like makes the story good that's missing from the anime. That's just straight up like you have to read the webtoon to like get the full context. But they're like the webtoon comic is way better than the actual like show. So I was like,
but why is it like that? I feel like
okay, it's artistic choice, but I'm like I agree, but that
you choose to artistically be bad.
Like,
yeah,
I can say artistically, it's like okay, yeah, we want
this art is objectively bad to me, not like, subjectively.
I mean, like, if you try to compare it to like what it's based on, like, I'll give you an example. This is why I disagree with that argument of like, not your argument, their argument of saying like, well, they're trying based on the source material. Well, you got to remember too, One Punch Man also had a webcomic and it was artistically not that good. Like, even though the guy who drew it up, it was if you look at the actual webcomic and you compare it to the manga and the anime, they look way better than the webcomic. So like, I don't really see that as a good excuse anymore for people to be like, oh, it's like the webcomic. And I'm like, yeah, but like you had One Punch Man that started as a webcomic and you look at the manga and anime and it's night and day. It's way better looking. So like, I feel like when you become an anime, like you shouldn't, there should be some sort of level up with that. You shouldn't just like keep the old art style unless the old art style was really, really good. But in this case, I don't think it is. So
yeah, I would just say don't even turn it to an anime if you're not going to put like some effort into it. And then also as far as like the content, don't make it into an anime if you're going to just cut content out of the webtoon. I know that there are certain limitations that would prevent you from doing certain things, but if you have this vision, I would expect you to turn whatever was in paper form or online form into like the full-fledged visual. Just do that. I would rather you do that than just to cut it off.
Okay.
So it is what it is, but I do not see myself watching another episode of Tower of God. I didn't even understand it. Like, again, like my head was hurting so much, I just like was not even paying attention to what was going on in the story. So I have no idea what happened in episode 1.
Yeah. Since before we get out the anime, I would just like to say I watched Boruto. That shit sucks. Don't watch it. I regret it. Don't watch it. Yeah. Like I feel like I had to because the Hokage thing, but it's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. The whole show is just like it's all just regurgitating ideas. Like Boruto is like, even like his like first like major arc is almost identical to the Zabuza arc. Like, you remember how they had to go help the dude who was fixing the bridge or whatever, like his first major arc where he fights a villain, it's the same thing. They went to go help a people whose bridge was in trouble, and I'm like, and then some ninjas like showed up. I'm like, bro, like this is the same fucking shit. And then it's just like, you remember when we were kids, Naruto and Sasuke? Like, it's really bad fan service. I'm good off that.
Really bad that like the entire show, the only best parts of it is literally when the old cast is in it. Like,
yeah, just
you like it, but all the new cast you don't like it.
They would have been better off just doing a show as them adults and like continuing their adventures versus, and the kids could have been there, but like the kids aren't the focal point, basically.
Yeah, I think they should push the focal point away. Which just swears to me the manga gets better, but
that's what everybody says. Like 100 episodes in, it's like, maybe if I'm sick, I'll continue to watch it and try to catch up. But because I mean, that's kind of how I got into Black Clover. Because you remember I used to say that shit. The beginning is trash. I'm not gonna lie, but like 20 episodes in, I got sick and I ended up was just laying in bed. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna watch this. It does get really good, and it turned into my favorite show. So I can see that it does happen. It's just, do you have the time to invest in that? And right now I don't.
Yeah, so right now I'm looking for something else to watch, because like I'm waiting on Attack on Titan season 4. I know you're really not a fan, TBH, but
no. I'm Attack on Titan fan now.
Well, you said you are now, but you weren't at first.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, it's anime fans I realized that make me not like certain anime. They overhype everything. They overhyped Attack on Titan. They said I should watch it. I watched it and I was like, What actually got me into Attack on Titan is like a year later, I got a free copy of the game Attack on Titan 2 for Xbox, and the game was fire. And there were some cutscenes that like spoiled the show like in the middle. I was like, yo, this kind of fire. I didn't even care I was spoiled. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick it back up and see where it goes. And then I ended up liking. I think Attack on Titan is a good show. I'll say it's a good show. I still think it's overrated, but I think it's a good show now.
Did you watch season 3 though?
I've not caught up yet. Like, I watched to the end of season 2.
Season 3 might change your mind. Like season 3
was really good.
It's really good.
Okay.
Like, and I read the manga and before season. If they don't fuck it up and they copy just exactly what the manga does, it might be a GOAT anime. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it's really good. Manga's really fucking good.
I feel like anime fans take like one like solid moment in like a season, and they amplify that, and they make it seem like it's like the GOAT show. And it's like there were solid moments in Attack on Titan, but it still doesn't warrant GOAT status.
I do agree. They overhyped season 1, like no doubt. Like season 1 was hella overhyped.
Agreed.
Season 2 kind of shot them down. Like, it kind of like humbled them, because not only did it take so long for season 2 to come out, but it was kind of very slow paced. So that kind of like killed the hype of it. And people were like, okay, maybe this is all right. But like season 3 came out, surprisingly, I thought they were never going to do it because it took forever again. But season 3, animation wise, story wise, action beat wise, soundtrack wise, like it just hits. Every part of it hit. They
did that shit with the My Hero season 4. Like, they hyped that shit up because the last episode was fire with Endeavor. That episode, pun intended. That shit was fire.
But the way that it ended, I'm like, bro, come on, man. Like, that was not a good conclusion to season 4.
And the overall arc was fire too. But in the middle, when it was just like the high school slice of life bullshit, that shit was ass. Season 4 was mid to me, to be honest.
Yeah. Because I read the manga to that point, and me and Jojo were talking about it. It was like, we were just like, yeah, like honestly, ignore the whole high school shit. Like, that's the most boring part. But once you get to the next part, which is like with Hawks and Endeavor, it was like, then like shit turns up. And then after that point, it's good. Because you saw the movie, right?
Yeah, I saw the movie.
Yeah, so you know that whole idea with like Bakugo getting like one for all and then becoming like basically Super Saiyans. Like,
nigga, you just spoiled the whole fucking movie for the people who haven't seen it, bruh. Yo.
Hold on. I forgot we were doing a podcast.
Oh my fucking god! I might have to edit that.
Go ahead.
You just spoiled it.
Add a spoiler tag.
Oh my!
That movie's been out for like a year now. I don't.
No, it has. It's been out for like a month, bro. What are you talking about?
No, it came out in like December or January.
I still think it's fair game to say spoilers, like especially because it's an anime movie. Not everybody's gonna have access to it.
Fine. Give him a spoiler alert, or you can just mute.
You dead ass just spoiled the end. I would be here because I'm not gonna lie. The end of that movie, JG, was fucking fire, and this nigga just spoiled that shit, bro. That's
Wait, JG didn't see it?
He just said
about
it.
To fight. He tells me about the fight, bro.
He just said it. Oh my god!
I thought I heard you. I
gotta go watch the movie today. I gotta go find the Ledger link or something.
I would say watch the movie.
I'll get you a link.
The ending to that movie is the ending to the movie. I actually didn't expect it. It was fire as fuck, but it did leave me thinking. I was like, this is a little Dragon Ball-ish. I was like, all right, where is this gonna go after this?
Skip it all the way to like an hour and then just start watching it from there.
Nah, watch the whole movie. The whole movie was good. It was an 8. It was an 8.
Hold on. The first 3/4 of the movie were fucking garbage. Them running around doing little tasks and stuff. That shit was boring.
It was character world building, bro. Like you can't just fight because then it'll be Dragon Ball.
Bro, they threw these niggas on a random ass island that has no significance to help just a bunch of random old people, bro. That shit was boring, bro.
They were learning to become heroes. They're getting their license.
It's just like the DBZ Brawley movie. It's like that shit was boring until literally when that nigga pulled up and Vegeta pulled his coat off and said, "I need a warm up." Then shit turned up. That was it. That it's the same thing in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
whatever.
Okay, this is the anime podcast. We're taking over Otaku Summit.
Right. Our podcast is better. Let's get back to the fucking gaming. Since the last podcast, there's been and I'm using quote fingers here, a full retail release of Valorant. I don't play that shit, but Ethos, CS:GO with Fireballs full edition. What's different, Ethos? What do you like? What do you dislike?
So since beta, they have added a brand new map, which it seems like some people like it, some people hate it. I personally like the map. It's called Descent. It's the one where it's like in the sky. They added a new character, Reyna, so she's in the game now. Which is she's like a really offensive fragger who basically she can heal herself after she gets a kill. She can go intangible if she gets the kill, and she can alter herself, which basically gives her these extreme buffs. It speeds up her reload speed, her rate of fire, all that stuff. Reyna's really good. The map is, like I said, depends on the person. I personally like it. Takes some time to get used to. They did some quality of life stuff. All in all, it's pretty much similar to exactly what you played in the beta. It's just they just added a little bit more content to the game, and it seems like they're going to be expanding more. Oh, and they added a battle pass too, and they added more skins. Overall, I kind of hold the same opinion. I think it's a really solid game. I think it's really enjoyable. I personally, my background is I hate CS:GO. I don't like CS:GO, so to have a game that's similar to CS:GO, but the changes that they made me actually enjoy it, then me personally, I like it. I think people who hated CS:GO should at least give this game a shot and see if maybe the changes work for them. It really just depends. Overall, if I had to give it a score now, I'd give it an 8 out of 10 right now. I think there's areas it can improve. I feel like they can, if they add some more content over time, it'll be good. But what I see here is there's a very strong foundation, and it's a really solid game. And plus, it's free. If they had charged for this game, I feel like it would be getting way more a lot of hate. But since it's free, you can't really be mad at it. It's a solid game, good foundation, and overall, it has a lot of the base tools. It's just expanding on the game and the lore.
What's the new game mode Siggy was telling me about?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, so there's a Spike Rush game mode. I haven't played it yet, but from what people have told me, it's a way more sped up Call of Duty-ish version of the regular mode, where I think everybody gets a spike, and it's way more fast-paced. The matches last 7 to 8 minutes instead of 30 minutes. So there's only 8 rounds or 4 rounds or something like that. So it happens at a way more fast pace than what the current regular mode is. So if you kind of hated how slow it was, that might be a better alternative to try out.
Only you know the rules, okay? The only way I'm installing Valorant back on my PC is $500 donation. So anybody listening to this podcast, yeah, because it's mental health insurance. Normally the fee is $100, but when it drives me crazy, mental health insurance goes up. The rates go up. So $the Black Hokage 08, cash at me $500. Make sure to say in the message for Valorant because it gave me a headache. That's why my head literally hurt the night I played that shit.
Oh my Lord.
I literally could not believe what I experienced. Are you coming back to this game, JG?
Not likely, but I will say that I am a little bit interested in a new game mode because that was one of my critiques. I am not trying to sit there for a half hour to an hour playing that game. Like it's just it ends up getting boring for me. So I mean, that new game mode, like, I might be slightly inclined, but right now I'm playing Apex, so I'm good.
I'll play the game mode for you so you can see it for yourself.
Bad.
$the Black Hokage 08 dropped to 500. The last thing I got on the notes for the games is I've been playing Trials of Mana. You know, if you've been coming through to the streams, just a quick brief little first impression.
Too, huh?
You know, I'm the RPG guy in the crew. I actually play games. What's the name?
Now you play the game.
What are you talking about? I've been playing games. How's Final Fantasy 7 going?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay. Interesting. Haven't played one of the best games of the year. Interesting. And this is coming from a Final Fantasy 7 hater. Final Fantasy hater, I mean. Trials of Mana, if you like Final Fantasy 7, honestly, you're probably going to like this game. It's actually made by Square. It's a remake of a SNES game, a classic one. It's an action RPG. It plays kind of like FF7, but the difference is I think it's actually a little bit more fluid with the combat. With Final Fantasy 7's remake, at first glance, it looks like a button masher, but like when you hit the square button, you swing the sword a certain number of times. There's an actual ebb and flow to the combat. This is like, it's actually like kind of on command. And because of that, the dodge mechanic works much better in this game compared to Final Fantasy 7. So because of that, I would actually say the combat is actually better in Trials of Mana. So I'm actually really enjoying the gameplay. I'm enjoying like the different worlds. It's like semi-open world with a bunch of different like little cities and maps that you run around and you explore and level up and grind and, you know, fight bosses and all that stuff. The voice acting is absolutely terrible. I'm letting everybody know, if you want to get into this game, the voice acting is absolutely terrible. But like I'm 70% through the game, like based off first impressions, like Square Enix got another one. This is another good RPG. I think it's dope. It's worth checking out. And it kind of plays like Mass Effect 2, where like you can hit the ability wheel and you can cast spells and stuff like that. It's cool. Square Enix is making good games.
You played the original?
No, I did not actually play the original. Okay. But I saw like an IGN review on it, and I just kind of looked at the gameplay. I was like, oh, this gameplay look all right. And then somebody was like, somebody in the chat asked me, are you interested in Trials of Mana? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I ain't buying that shit. So somebody donated it. You know how that goes. You know the rules.
Yeah, I know the rules. Speaking of games we completed, you want to talk about Resident Evil 3?
Oh, I uninstalled it, and I'm proud. Yeah, I'm very proud.
You want to talk about why?
That shit is boring.
Is this boring to you?
Yeah, it was boring. You didn't watch my well, I didn't actually. I haven't edited that yet.
So many games.
I got so caught up in Trials of Mana, I haven't dropped my uninstall video. So jokes aside, like that shit was boring as fuck to me. I'm not gonna lie. I knew I was gonna uninstall the game like 30 minutes in when I got to like it was like a police station, and I had to unlock what's the shit called? Not a treasure chest, but a money locker, whatever that shit is called. I had to actually turn the dial in the game like we was in middle school. I was like, what is this shit? Middle school, high school locker room? Like I gotta turn the dial to the right twice and figure out I was like, bro, I'm not doing this, bro. So I was already kind of irritated. I'm like, this shit is not fun. It's super slow paced. But what really annoyed me is the gun mechanics are fucking awful in Resident Evil. And I don't care what nobody says. The bitch's wrist got fucking all time, like just shaking, fucking, and like I get it's supposed to make the game scary. It's not scary. It's just not fun to me. Like I want to be a confident shooter. I don't want to question every fucking shot. Then you got limited bullets, all that. I'm like, man. Oh, and then the zombies are tanks too. Why do you even give me a gun if I can't kill anything? I remember, I'm not gonna lie, another moment I knew I was gonna uninstall the game when they first gave you the pistol and I shot the zombie in the head and he kept coming at me. I'm like, what? I'm like, they take headshots. I thought zombie lore was you shoot the zombie in the head and it dies, right? But not in Resident Evil. You have to shoot it in. You shoot it in the head like 5 times, and you only got 2 bullets, so you can't. You just run around half the damn time. I was like, this is boring. I'm good. And there's backtracking. I'm like, nah, I'm good off this.
What was the difficulty you guys set on?
I had it on the default difficulty. It had nothing to do with the difficulty. It had everything to do with the gameplay mechanics are boring as shit. And somebody donated for me to play Resident Evil 2 Remake. I actually refunded him. I was like, no, I'm not playing this shit, dog. I'm good.
That's interesting. Yeah, 2's really good. Like, I really love
2. Yeah, but they said I probably wouldn't like it because I didn't like 3 because the gameplay mechanics were the same. It's just the story's better in 2.
That's weird because yeah, like a lot of people who review it, it seems like they all were like, we loved 2, and then like 3 doesn't hold a candle to 2's remake. Just kind of weird. Like
it's one of the things. I'm just not a Resident Evil fan. I can't get into it. It's
you hate to see it, but it is what it is.
Did you play it?
No, I never got it.
Fuck that game. What about you, Jay? Did you play that game?
Absolutely not.
Why you say it like that?
I don't play Resident Evil games. I don't care if they got remade.
I'm confused. So is Resident Evil supposed to be scary?
Back in the day, it was really scary. I mean, like number 2 scared me. Like there was definitely when I was playing Resident Evil 2, it was pretty scary. But like
jump scares and stuff.
Yeah, like they have jump scares and like Mr. X in Resident Evil 2 was actually like he was really scary like to deal with because he would just always be on the map no matter what, always be going around. And I hear that's a criticism of 3. It's like Nemesis doesn't really do that. He's just there for certain cutscene moments and stuff.
That shit people be finding scary. It's not scary to me. You know what's scary to me? That the idea of that I could be pulled over by a police officer and they can say they smell weed on me, knowing that. And y'all know I've never drank. You've never even seen me drink. I've never drank in my life. I've never done any drugs, never smoked no weed. And a police officer can say he smelled weed on me and I wouldn't even get the benefit of the fucking doubt. Then he can plant some drugs in my car and I get locked up. That's what scares me. Not no fucking Resident Evil. That's actually a really good transition to what we're about to talk into next. So a lot of events were getting canceled because of the whole Black Lives Matter. There's this whole thing going on in America. I guess people are finally realizing. Yeah, people finally realizing. Yeah, people are finally starting to realize that Black lives kind of matter. Like, maybe we shouldn't be shooting down black people, for no fucking reason. So and because of that, there's been a lot of protests. And Sony canceled the PS5 reveal event. It was supposed to be June 5th. The comment section on this shit was great. What did it do for you, Jay, when they announced that the PS5 event was canceled because Black Lives Matter?
Not much, because I highly doubt that Sony is going to have this energy for tomorrow, for the rest of the year, forever. So I just feel like they were just using it as an excuse just to say, hey, like, we're on your side. And that's how I feel about a lot of companies. But we all know that we've had our own personal experiences with Sony. So we have, we have that personal experience. It's not just, because it's Sony and just what we feel like. So we already know how they get down. So this really doesn't mean much to me.
In terms of the personal experiences, though, to play devil's advocate, those experiences were with the American branch. Like, that was the Japanese branch that issued that. At the end of the day, that was the Japanese branch that issued that statement. Who's to say that they don't actually care about Black lives?
I'm still not going to be optimistic about it.
I'm not convinced.
Yeah, it probably is clout. I'm just playing devil's advocate. You never know.
I don't trust Sony as far as I could throw them, in my opinion. From my experience with Sony and our experience with Sony, like, there's a very elitist attitude that comes from specifically PlayStation's media that's kind of concerning.
Yeah,
it seems like we're not alone in that belief. So.
Yeah, I feel that. And then also some other stuff that happened. Activision is now cracking down on racist usernames because Black Lives Matter, as well as yesterday. Hold on. And then yesterday they also shut down the servers in a moment of silence. And then when you tried to play Call of Duty, like a screen popped up and it said hashtag Black Lives Matter. Now imagine being a racist person and turning on Call of Duty, which is, by the way, like, Call of Duty might as well be like a clan meeting.
Festering zone.
A festering zone of racist motherfuckers. And you see hashtag Black Lives Matter when you try to play your Call of Duty. What did that do for y'all?
I mean, it made a lot of racists upset. but it didn't do anything for me because, again, just like Sony, I don't see this being a thing that's going to change the climate of Call of Duty just overnight. Like, come on now. Like, there's still going to be a lot of races on there. You're not going to stop people from saying racist things because it's really not just with the usernames. It's with the voice chat. Like, it's been like that since forever, as long as I can remember, as long as multiplayer games were able to be played online without you being, right across from somebody. So, yeah. I highly doubt this is going to change anything, but I will say on the other side, I found it very interesting that they actually put that in there because when I first saw it, I was like, wait a minute, did Call of Duty did that? Activision? The Activision has been canceling all their games and it's been super fucking toxic with all their games for years. That Activision? Very interesting.
My only question with Activision is like, why now? Like, where were you in the Modern Warfare 2 days, when I was getting called nigger just fucking every 5 seconds, every lobby? Why do you care all of a sudden is what I'm because it's one of those things, like, you have to be aware of your own audience. Like I said, Call of Duty might as well just be a clan meeting. Like,
to be fair, I feel like those periods of time were two different periods of time. I feel like back then there wasn't this sort of social justice level of awareness that gets spread, and plus Twitter was Twitter even out at that point? No, I don't.
Twitter came out in 06.
Twitter came out
06 or something
No.
like that. Like,
it wasn't popular though. I got on
Right.
Twitter 2010 maybe.
I remember Twitter didn't get really popping until like 2013, 20.
I got on in 09, but I think 2011 was when
when
like
it started to pop
yeah.
off.
I found out about Twitter from Charles Hamilton.
Good job, buddy.
Charles Hamilton.
He used to rap about it all the time.
Yeah, but yeah, so like I don't know, like I think that's like maybe what it is. It's just like social media has become so hyper now that like I don't know. It's kind of this whole thing where it's just like if you don't say something, people are gonna call you on it, so you better say something. And then when you're like Activision or Blizzard, it kind of comes on deaf ears if you're like talking about, oh, we care about Black Lives Matter, but then like literally months ago you were like shutting people from saying political things for like Hong Kong and shit. It's very audio ain't matching the visuals. And there's like a couple companies like that they're the first ones to be posting about Black Lives Matter and just tweets and stuff, but then like a bunch of black creators are all like, hey, you say this, but your actions for the past couple of years with like black creators doesn't match up with this type of statement. So very interesting.
True. 2K, they're giving away Black Lives Matter t-shirts. You want to ball in one? What's that doing for anybody?
You just pay VST for them?
I don't know. I don't play 2K, so
It might have been free. I would assume it was.
I would hope it'd be. That'd be really scary.
I would have put past 2K.
I mean, this is true. This is true. But no, I think that it was actually free for them to pick up.
And then what was it? Play Live got pushed back, which was EA's event, EA Live, EA Plays event. They were going to do like a little live streaming thing that got pushed back to I think like the 18th because of they were saying Black Lives Matter and shit. What did EA? Did they have anything to show?
Yes.
What was it?
Like game wise, or are you talking about?
Yeah, what are they gonna show? Anthem 2.0 or some shit?
No, they said that Anthem 2.0 still like we're probably not gonna see anything about Anthem until next year. I think there's another Star Wars game in development, so they could be teasing that.
So soon though.
Yeah, they said they were working. There was like another, like Maverick. Like, so all the studios right now, it seems like all of them have been like moved on to new projects. So like all the games that they've been working on this generation, it seems like they're now like ending support for. Like,
they opened a studio for Apex 2 only.
Yeah, like there's a new I feel like Apex would have got like some big announcement. Or they're gonna do something with Apex. Please be Titans. Please be fucking Titans.
I hope that means like a steady flow of content since they have a studio dedicated to Apex now.
Yeah, so like maybe it's that. I think also Battlefield's the big one. I mean, that's the one we know for a fact. Battlefield 6 is like it's in development. They're working on it after like 5 kind of just upped and died, and they fucked that one up pretty badly. They got a lot to prove, so like they're putting it seems like they're putting a lot of developers on that game. And it's probably gonna be the first game on the next gen, so they're probably making sure it looks like really, really good. So that's
Mass Effect.
Dragon Age. No, Dragon Age. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The remaster could have been teased, or they could have announced it. But Dragon Age, like that's the next BioWare game. So I guarantee you, like, there's a Dragon Age like trailer.
Did I tell you AJ DM'd me? And he was like,
AJ DM'd me like, bro, you gotta stop. I was like, all right.
He was like,
no, we don't.
This actually pertains to the Black Lives Matter and fucking Mass Effect.
Yeah.
He DM'd me and he was like, for those of you who don't know, AJ is like a guy who works at EA that we know. He was like, he's like, I know you're probably tired of hearing this from white people, but he's like, how are you doing? And I was like, believe it or not, you're actually the first white person to DM me and ask me. I was like, that sounds fucked up, but I was like, I'm being honest. And he was like, oh wow. And I was like, anyways, I was like, I'm fine. But I was like, anyways, I was like, so what's up with that Mass Effect? Yeah, where's that Mass Effect? And he was like, chill. He's like, if I could tell you something, I would. And I was like, I'll take that as you guys are working on it then. Wink, wink.
I'll just take it as it better be in development.
Right. I'm not confirming. I'm not saying it's confirmed. I'm just saying I like fucking with him. That's all I'm saying.
We're not trying to get him in trouble the job.
Right. I'm just saying I like fucking with him. That's all.
We're insinuating we're just fucking with him. He's a great employee for you guys.
Yeah, he's one of the AJ's one of the few people. If we, because we've been spending a lot of time like shitting on people. He's one of the few people I can say in the industry who I came to him and I was like, yo, you need some more black people at EA at these EA events, and he got. I told him I got Ethos in, JG, Nomad, I think. To like some EA event. He listened, like he cool. Like it's a lot of industry people following me with check marks that work at IGN and GameSpot now. None of this whole Black Lives Matter things. I can say he's one of the few people like he fucked with us just because he fucked with us.
Two I will give credit to is two companies that I will give credit, which is hilarious, like because everyone hates them.
Ubisoft and EA.
Ubisoft and EA, like people love shitting on them, but I will give them credit. Like they actually do the action. They're not like all the talk. Like EA, I remember when TBH first did that thing. He was like, it was like back when the Anthem first was revealed. He was like, you should give more blah 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 than this. And like it was like literally the same day. Like I was talking, like he introduced me to like literally some people who were working on BioWare, who were working on the game and stuff. Like it was like that day. So like I will give them credit and a shout out to EA and Ubisoft. Like they really do try to push to have
their business practices are trash, but they are inclusive. Yeah, we'll give them that much.
They're not a company that just like, we're just gonna talk. We're just a brand. We care, but they don't really like. They actually do that. So give them credit. These other companies though.
Looking spooky.
Which
is funny too, because that's actually a good segue, because that's actually what's next on the notes. Like streamers and YouTubers have been calling out brands and pressuring them to make a statement about Black Lives Matter. I think it's actually funny because I don't actually know what that's supposed to do. What do y'all think about all that?
I think it's good. I mean, I don't know if we should give names, but I personally think that it is good that this is happening, because what we're seeing here is specifically one that I knew for a fact that I really was getting pissed off about was Sony. PlayStation is, like, in my opinion, I thought about this, and I remember like I was talking with Paris about this, and Khalif. I said, it's kind of crazy to me that like Last of Us 2 is coming out in 13 days, and I have yet to see one person who's a person of color. I haven't seen one black person who has an early copy of this game who's been able to give their thoughts on it. I can't think of one. All I've seen is like the same people who've gotten this game early, who are playing it right now, and they're gonna give their opinions. But like, there's no like certain person who's like me who can give their opinion about like their take on the game. And I was like, that's very interesting.
And to play devil's advocate, because, there's going to be some people that are going to be like, well, why does it matter to get a black perspective? The best example I think it matters to get different perspectives on games is Mafia 3. Those Mafia 3 reviews that game has one of the best stories that I've ever played, and it's one of the most accurate depictions of being black in America. And no white game reviewer even mentioned that shit, bro. So you wouldn't even have known it. And that's why I advocate and I always ride hard for yes, the gameplay was a little repetitive, but I feel like every black gamer should play Mafia 3. You'd be like, wow, these developers did their research. Yeah, they did their research, and I feel like a different perspective mattered, because like to them it was just a story, but to us, like, that shit was like real. Like, yo, this is really what it feels like. This shit is crazy.
And you know why that shit happens is because when you hire, like what they did, right? Like when you hire people who are diverse, when you hire people who have different backgrounds and have that experience, then it doesn't come off as like fake, or it doesn't come off as like insensitive, because you have a bunch of white people who are working on a game about a black person living in the 1960s, and then you're gonna be like, I guess we'll figure out how to do this. Like, no, you need to get people who understand that experience and know the history and background of it.
Yeah, Call of Duty World War II.
The door.
Call of Duty World War II is tone deaf.
Yeah, I just played World War II, and it is the most tone deaf game when it comes to like race I've ever seen. Like
they had them fighting side by side. Those fucking platoons were segregated, and they called them niggers, and they were trying to hang them.
Yeah. There's only literally in my entire experience of playing, I played the entire campaign. I streamed it, and I made a note of this. I was like, there's only one black person who's a side character that you actually speak to on multiple missions, and he doesn't show up until literally like the last quarter of the game. And this time, like they don't even like you can't even tell like. They try to hide that there's no sort of like prejudice towards him. They don't even like he's like the only person, and they make a joke about how
which is a lie in itself because there were whole brigades of black men. But the fact there's only one in the game, get the fuck out of here.
They don't show them at all. Like Battlefield 5 for the shit it got, at least it showed the different perspectives of how there were black soldiers in World War II and how they actually contributed to the war. Like they showed that like with the French.
Oh, I love Hellfighters.
I forgot the Indian. I forgot what they're called. I apologize, but yeah, them too. They also contributed really well. Like there's a bunch of stuff that's just like it's just let's just do D-Day for the 50th fucking time, and it's like, dog, I'm fucking tired of looking at this shit. It's the same shit over and over again. It's like that's why I give Battlefield 5 credit for. Like they showed shit I didn't even know about, and like settings that I didn't even know were like fought in World War II. So I thought that was
like I wonder how many white people know about the Tuskegee Airmen. Like like. It was a
couple of them do, but like not a lot.
It was a whole like brigade of black dudes who flew and just beat everybody's ass, but whatever.
And then they came back and got called again.
Yeah, and that's why it's fuck Drew Brees.
Yeah, that's why it's fuck Drew Brees.
But going back to the Mafia 3 conversation, that's really important. I remember when I was streaming that, it was people that I've never seen in my stream before. They came in here and they was like, yo, like I've been watching white people stream this and it just feels super awkward because they just don't know what's going on. And they were like, it's nice to see a black perspective, like you actually playing the game and you're like reacting to things. Like they're just sitting there playing the game just to play it, just because it's new.
To them, it's a fictional universe. They don't think that's actually real.
Yeah. So that again brings it back to the point that it's very important to get perspectives from us, especially when it's related to us. That's very important there. So going back to Sony, they're just I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. Like we've had multiple experiences with Sony, and like that, like it's always been in like some negative or like some sort of wall or obstacle put in the way. And it's not even like I hate the whole argument of, oh, we would do this, we would hire them, we would use them, we would give this, but like we just don't know where they are. We can't find like that. I don't buy that.
Then you're not even trying to know where they are, because I'm gonna give another example. Fucking Funhouse put out a video talking about Black Lives Matter. It was so fucking tone deaf and cringy. They put it in the Discord. That's the only reason I knew about it, because apparently they were talking about me, and it was 4 white people talking on stream about how Black Lives Matter. But it was one of those examples where I would talk about that they'd love to talk about us instead of to us.
But you look and it's like, where's the black person?
Yeah, and they were making that whole argument. We just didn't know they exist. We didn't know where to look. Well, stop talking about us and talk to us. You dropped my name, but you didn't talk. You didn't talk to me, bro. That's a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then like another example of this is like Detroit Become Human. I think JG played it. I played it, right? Like it hits on a point about racism that I think is very important that a black person should give their perspective on how the game fails at it at times. But like if you have a bunch of white people reviewing it and a white person wrote it, it's like they're gonna look at it and be like, oh yeah, this seems fine.
Bro, nah, we both played that game and immediately even the chat, they were like, yo, this feels a little bit too familiar. It's just really about androids, or it's just about black people. Like, nah, bro.
An analogy for black people, and
you cannot tell me that wasn't a reference to the black person.
It definitely was.
Come on now.
And the main character was black. They just tried to guise it behind the fact that he was a robot to make people feel comfortable.
It's freaking Jesse, bro. Like we do it. Nah, bro.
But I wonder how many people actually understood that. Did that fly over their heads, or was it just another fictional world with robots to them?
But that's the funny thing, though, because the creator originally said that it wasn't, and then he reneged and said that it was. But that's because he got pressure.
It was an analogy, and then he got pressure. Yeah, and then when he made it, he said, "Yeah, it is an analogy." Then people criticized the shit out of the story because it was just like, this is an inaccurate Like, okay, for example, I'm sorry, I have to bring this up. The black dude that's in Detroit Become Human, not Jesse, the big one that protects Kara.
Yeah. The one that was in the house.
That shit was so stupid, bro. That shit was like, I couldn't even like start with like how, not triggering, but like how uncomfortable that made me feel, just like playing that through. I was like, this feels very tone deaf to me. And it was just a lot of stuff about that game. It was just like, I enjoyed the game. Don't get me wrong. Like, I like the whole, like, you beat MLK, you beat Malcolm X at the end. I thought that was really cool. But like, overall, there's definitely areas like from a racial standpoint where like you make the analogy of, like with like basically of how like America's been. It's very tone deaf in areas, or very like ignorant in other areas of how like racism actually works and functions. So. Yeah.
But then they get a character like Coltrane and it's totally relatable to him. Yeah, okay, I get that. Like, yeah, black guy yelling. Okay.
In any other way that we've been depicted, not only in video games, but in movies and cartoons. Like, bro, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, but seriously, fuck Drew Brees. Also, I got on that, like people coming at brands. I think it's funny. Hopefully,
I didn't give my So I don't feel like this is going to do my. I'm hoping that it is, but it's just very hard to be optimistic that streamers coming at brands for not saying anything that it's going to lead to actual change. It's very hard for me to be like, oh yeah, change is actually coming because people are speaking up. I'm going to hope so, but I don't think that it's really doing much. Like, some people are just going out of their way to just witch hunt every single brand, and I don't think that that's cool. Like, if they did not feel the need to say something before, then I don't feel like you should pressure or bully anybody into just making a generic white text on black background saying that Black Lives Matter, or we care about black people all of a sudden because you didn't before. And for like specifically in our industry, for the ones that have not said anything, or that the ones that have said anything, and we know for a fact that like you blackballed certain people just because of the color of their skin or their gender, like, nah, bro, like we kind of know like who you are, and it's pretty much fuck you at this point. Like, I don't want your pity partnership just because people bullied you into saying anything. Like, I need for you to have that same energy every day about black people. Like, I'm not trying to really hear that shit. So like I said, it's cool that some brands have spoken up about it, but I wanted them to do that like before they were pressured to do it, because at the end of the day, like, if you're pressured to do it, then it's not genuine. So that's just how I feel about it. I don't like the witch hunt. You shouldn't make anybody speak up, just because you feel some type of way. If they like, if you really fuck with them and if you think that they're a genuine company, then they should have said something from the start.
What I would like to say at the end of this conversation is, just remember, just because you're a gamer does not mean you're a good person. Just because you got bullied in high school for playing Zelda does not mean you don't have blind spots. A lot of you are racist. Yeah, a lot of you are racist, and I think some people are starting to realize that, like, wait a minute. Like, there's no correlation between the two. Like, that's crazy. Like, yeah, being black is different than being a gamer. Like, it's just a different thing. I was always to say one positive thing we could leave this on. Who I thought had like the best protest was Lego. Their shit was funny to me. So for those of y'all aware, Lego pulled all police sets and advertisements. They pulled it off the store shelves, so you could not buy a Lego police set. They said fuck 12. That shit had me fucking dying. I was like, I think I don't got no kids, but I'm definitely gonna buy some Legos.
Lego set.
Yeah, Legos about their life.
Yeah, so shout out to fucking Legos. They said fuck the police, bro. That shit is great. Moving on to other news. Since the last podcast, a new demo for The Last of Us 2 came out. It was an 8-minute demo. They showed off some of the world, some of the gameplay. What are your thoughts, Ethos?
Why you got people first?
I know you love Last of Us.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, it looks good from a gameplay standpoint, but like, it doesn't look like anything different. I'm sorry, I had to laugh at the point where they started their thing and they were just like, "Hey, to really push next gen, we've given Ellie the ability to jump." And I actually like. I couldn't believe it.
Don't forget swimming. Don't forget she can swim.
Ellie can collect cans now.
Yeah, like that had me actually legitimately like busting out laughing. Like, they really thought it was my innovative. But like, a lot of the stuff in the game is just like improvements, but nothing about the game like really like blew me away. Where I was just like, "Oh my god, holy crap, this is like innovative" or something like that. It's just like, oh, okay, all right, so it's just more Last of Us with I can go crawl under cars now and jump above cars. Like, that's really about it right now. I didn't really see much of a difference.
The best part was when the Vita, they killed the lady with the Vita.
Yeah, with the Vita, that was literally the best part.
The last known Vita in the apocalypse.
Yeah, that was like literally the best thing of the entire.
The only thing I saw new in the gameplay was like the tall ass grass and her like crawling through it, but like, and then the jumping, that was it. I was like, yeah. It pretty much confirmed to me that I'm just playing the game for the story because there's nothing riveting going on here in this gameplay.
And that's the controversy, the story, right?
Now the story controversies and other things. Now it's like, damn, like what is gonna happen? I'm very curious what's gonna happen in the next. What is it like next week?
They said
we got 2 weeks, right? Yeah.
They said you wouldn't be able to play through the whole game in one sitting because they said the world is much bigger with all the traveling. But I'm gonna be honest, I'm not playing the game twice. You're gonna play through twice?
No. I do like how they changed the environment stuff. Like I like how they made it more open. Like it's not open world, but I do like how they've made it more this open space, kind of like Tomb Raider was, or it's like this open space and you can move throughout it. I do like that compared to the whole like how Last of Us 1 was very linear and it was just like go from this point to this point and you can only go one way. I do like how it's more. Gives more breathing room of like what you can do. I just wish like the game had more like I wish it just had more tools, more like emergent things that I could do and like really like come up with some really cool stuff. Of what I saw from the trailer, it seems like it's like you know throw rock here, hit person with arrow. Honestly, the best thing this game could do is just make the AI really smart. If they make the AI really smart, then I think I'll be happy.
They can pull you from under the car.
Yeah, like the animations are really nice though. I will give them credit for that. The animations are really good.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't impressed. Yeah, that's.
I mean, The Last of Us 2. When we were watching the demo, like, cause I watched it on stream with everybody, and it was a lot of people that just had the preconceived notion already that like it was going to be trash. Like they didn't even care because they all saw the leaks. So that just already left a bad taste in their mouth. So unfortunately, like the studio was just suffering from that. So like in an attempt to recover, I understand why they showed that gameplay demo, which was actually a gameplay demo. Though we had that conversation, it was actually a gameplay demo.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, Ubisoft. So this is how you do it. And but I would have to agree with Ethos. Like I feel like a lot of these elements, first of all, they've been in other games already, like other action adventure games. So I found it very funny that like they tried to essentially just deem them as like, oh, these are new abilities or whatever. It's just really quality of life. Like I do agree that like with these elements that we did see, it makes like the overall game better from it's an improvement from the last one, but it's not anything innovative. It's not anything mind blowing. So I would have to agree with TBH. Like at this point, I just feel like I'm playing it for the story, like especially because it's so controversial now with the ending. Like I just want to know how it ends. And again, like I had a very, very good experience playing the original Last of Us, but like regardless of how I may feel about the controversial ending, even though I haven't seen it myself, because I'm not spoiling it. It just kind of really just left a bad taste in my mouth regardless, just because of like how everybody else was seeing the game as after watching it. So it was hella people that were like, nah, this game is fucking trash, it's mid, I'm not even going to play it. And I'm like, all right, well that's fine, but I just don't want you to just be like, all right, I'm not playing it just because of the controversial ending. Like again, but I also think that people thought that it was going to be innovative and they were disappointed at that, and that's fine. And I would agree on that point, but I wouldn't say that the game is trash and you haven't even played it yet. At least play it and not just it, huh?
You haven't seen the leaks?
Nah, I told you I wasn't watching leaks.
You're not watching.
Let me go 2 for 2 real quick and spoil it for you too.
You better not.
No.
You better not.
I'm just kidding.
There better be a mission in the game where you get to ride the giraffes.
Ride the what?
The giraffes. I want to ride the giraffes and shoot this shit.
This guy. Anywho.
I hope they add like mini games to the game.
They need to add mini games to Animal Crossing.
Maybe play like some chess or some darts.
Darts. $60 game. All right.
Play golf or something. I don't know.
What y'all think of that Ghost of Tsushima gameplay demo they did?
Looks like Assassin's Creed Japan.
Yeah,
Which I'm not mad at because this is what we were asking for, but we were asking Ubisoft to do it. So
it's not the same when the Apple of Eden is not involved. Like, you know,
if it's not the story, it kind of like.
But,
where's my Nerva?
Yeah, literally through that gameplay demo, that's all it reminded me of. Like, again, it's not a bad thing, but I feel like after watching that, I'm not as excited as I thought I was going to be because I thought they were going to take another route. I kind of wanted more of a linear experience. No, not Sekiro. I didn't want to deal with that again. No, I didn't want to deal. I didn't want to deal with another Sekiro clone or a Dark Souls clone. But I thought it was going to be more of a linear experience, and we're totally not getting it. And like we have collectibles and stuff.
They said there's no waypoints in this game. You got to follow the wind.
Yeah, there's no like map.
I'm not gonna lie. If I uninstall the game, it's probably gonna be because of that. Because if it becomes way too hard to find missions, it's gonna piss me off. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, so like I feel like they were just trying too hard with that system.
The foxes?
No, I don't want to. I'm too old to be following the wind, bruh. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes, but I'm not as excited as I once was.
It honestly looks like it's going to be a solid 8 out of 10 and nothing more. Yeah. Like the story has to be mind blowing for it to get past an 8, I think.
Yeah, and I feel like the story's not even going to be that mind blowing. I feel like I'm trying to think of a good PS4 exclusive comparison.
I think it's going to be like Horizon Zero Dawn. It's going to be a nice little exclusive, but it's not going to be anything mind blowing.
I feel like put Horizon Zero Dawn and what is it? What's that zombie game? What was the name of that shit?
What's that one you put in the DMs last night? The one that you won't let down.
No. The PS4 one, the one JG played. JG, what was the name of that shit?
I keep trying to think of the name of the damn game.
Days Gone.
Yeah, Days Gone. Yes.
Put those two games, and then
that game is awful.
Yeah, but you put it like right in the middle, and I think that's where Ghost of Tsushima is going to be. Like,
don't say that. I don't think Ghost is going to be anywhere near Days Gone. That game was dog shit, and let's not forget that. That game was dog shit.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like the reason I say that is because I don't think the combat system is gonna be kind of like Horizon. I don't think the combat system is gonna be that in depth. It's gonna be like kind of your Sony, like kind of basic. That kind of disappointed me because I kind of wanted something.
They said it's basically Batman.
Yeah, like if it's like the whole thing where I saw the Batman thing where he was just slice. I was like, that kind of killed my any type of excitement. Kind of died when I saw that, and then. On top of that, like the combat system looks very basic. I don't see like really a lot.
The parkour looked identical to Sekiro.
Yeah, the ninja aspect might be more in depth. It might like have that more stealth element. So if you want to play stealthy, you'll play the ninja, and if you want to play more like Batman-y, you'll play the samurai. But like overall, like I'm looking at it, I'm just like, okay, so I feel like all I'm gonna do in this game is go from mission to mission, point to point. And if all of it is like go to this location, clear it out of enemies, and then like burn this thing, so then it's an outpost. It's like Far Cry. It's just literally the Far Cry formula. And I'm like, yeah, that's gonna get boring very quick. So I hope there's more to it. I pray there's more to it. I want the game to be fun because I like samurais and stuff. But I will not lie. Like after seeing that gameplay demo thing, it kind of lowered my like expectations like really.
I feel like they were trying to mask the gameplay behind the fact like look how beautiful our world is. Look at these yellow trees and stuff like that. And it's like once you get past that, it's like, hey, it looks like Batman to me.
Yeah, they spent a lot of time on like the picture mode. Yeah, and I was like, it looked cool.
You don't want to do black and white?
Yeah, no.
No, I don't want to play black and white.
Like it's cool. Like I'll take pictures of it because like I love Spider-Man for that aspect. Like I love doing that. But like again, this is like the problem. This is the problem I've always had with all these Sony exclusives. It's like it's literally exactly what you just said, TDH. It's a bunch of flashing lights. They make the presentation of the game really good. It gets you the marketing, the hype of it. But then when you actually like just like objectively take a step away and look at the game and think, what am I doing gameplay wise? And you realize it's just very basic. And that like I don't know, that just turns me off. I'm just like I'm not for it.
Yeah, we were actually talking about it on my stream the other day that like this might be one of the weakest generations in terms of gaming. There were a lot of good games, but like there weren't a lot of iconic games, if that makes sense. Like there were, I don't like, you know how like in the 360 era we had like the Gears of War and we had like the Halo, like the games that like define the generation. Like what do y'all like? Do y'all feel like there's anything?
What it is? You know what it is though? It's that's because I don't think this gen we haven't had in this gen. This is the problem with this gen. This gen we haven't had a lot of new IPs that have like gone and done like and like have created franchises. Like I think the only exceptions is Jedi Fallen Order did it. Hellblade has done it. Like that's it. Like everything else that has been like big have been always the result of a previous game from the last gen.
Yeah.
Or from their name. Like there's no.
Yeah, we're riding the coattails. It feels like.
Right. Yeah, we're riding coattails. There's no like. There was no like. I guess Bloodborne would be an exception, but that was PS4. Bloodborne had the name of Dark Souls, so that kind of helped that. Like maybe Sekiro, but like I highly doubt From Software is going to make another game of that. It's probably like a one-time thing. So like I think a lot of the biggest games were all sequel stuff. Like it was all like based off of a franchise. I don't think we've ever had like, except for the ones I named, like new IPs that came out and was just like, holy crap, this is iconic. This will be like a Master Chief, a Gears of War, a Uncharted, a Last of Us. Like I don't think that's happening.
One of those iconic characters that just last.
We're gonna this will last. Like this will be like iconic of that. Like you could say maybe Geralt, but again, like that's Witcher 3. Like that
was one of the ones I argued. Geralt, Witcher 3 was iconic for like this generation. I even, as much as it pains me to say, like I'd put Fortnite in that conversation too.
Oh yeah, I put Fortnite. Oh yeah, I could say Fortnite. Yeah, Fortnite definitely was iconic for this generation. I would say that, whether you like it or not.
But it felt like last generation, like at least once a year there was like one game that was like that was like iconic for that generation.
I mean, you had Batman, you had Gears, you had
COD really blew up in that era.
Call of Duty really blew up in that era and like became this like god tier thing. Like there's just like so many games that like became a whole different level of like iconic and mainstream appeal. Like this time, I think the only thing that's hit it is like Fortnite. I don't think like a lot of the games are even.
And that goes back to why I said that's part of the reason I feel like
Apex Legends, maybe I could argue. Like Apex Legends actually like took down Fortnite and it had like a lot of mass appeal and then it did good when it first came out. Maybe like I don't know.
If we put Apex in there, I would say that like it trips into it. It's not definitive, and that's I'm somebody who likes it. It's not definitive to me.
It tripped into it. I don't think it like fully like embraced.
Like if it arrived first before the other BRs, and you could say that, but no.
Like what PlayerUnknown PUBG, I would say was that. Like I know people talk about what was it, Ward Z or whatever it was, but like I feel like PUBG hit that iconic like. That was like the game that I think bursted like all the other battle royales because of how big it blew up.
Yeah, agreed.
So maybe PUBG, I'd give that.
I still feel like we're thinking way too hard. It's like it just feels like this generation was just kind of and I really hope for the PS5 and the next Xbox they really try to push new IPs and new storylines and new gameplay mechanics because like a lot of people make the argument that do you feel like we've reached the pinnacle in terms of like creativity, and I don't think so. I don't think people are trying. And part of that is the consumer. People keep buying these sequels. They keep.
Here it is. I mean, if it's not a sequel, it's a remake. Look at what's happening now. Remakes and remasters are literally like running 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not getting anything. Like Ghost of Tsushima, if it's good, that could possibly break the mold. But Last of Us 2, again, like I said, it had a bad rap, and it's a sequel. So it's really just going to be Cyberpunk. What else do we have here?
It feels weird that my favorite game of the year so far is a remake.
Final Fantasy 7. Like what the hell? What the hell? That's crazy. But look,
Trials of Mana, like that's
Samurai Zero is going to be going to be the best new IP, whatever it drops.
Low key, it might be. We'll see what happens.
It's gonna be on the Epic Game Store.
No comment.
Okay. Chinese spyware coming near you.
Spyware, no comment.
Valorant the console, is that doing anything for anybody? It's been rumored they're testing it.
For all the console plebs, yeah.
So
because they were upset because they couldn't play
it. They realized they weren't really retaining that PC crowd like they thought, so they was like, maybe we should bring it to console.
No, shut up.
You know I'm right. That's why you're laughing. It burns your soul to know I'm right.
No, you're wrong.
Harley,
you just made an argument about Apex saying that people talk about people dead. Now you don't do the same thing to Valorant. Relax.
Valorant is. First of all, I didn't say Valorant. I never said Valorant was dead. I said I predicted Valorant was going to have a big boom and then it was going to fade off and have a small, tight community like CSGO. And from what I see, that's what's happening.
I don't see that as that. I think it's going to be big, but I don't know if it's going to be better than CSGO. I just know it's going to be big. I don't think it's just going to go and be a small.
I think it's peaked already.
I think it's going to hit Rainbow level. I think when they add more stuff to it, it's going to be Rainbow.
Nah, it definitely didn't peak already.
I don't think it's peaked. I don't even think it's close to peaking.
Okay. We'll see.
I'm willing to believe that because Riot had the same thing with League of Legends. Like League of Legends had literally the same exact arguments that people talk about and yell about Valorant. Like, oh, it's a copy of this game and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Like, literally, people say the same thing about League of Legends, and I'll look at it. It's top of the world, so I don't buy that for a second. It's not about making something original all the time. It's about making something that works best.
Yeah, and doing shitty business practices to get people to get access to it.
Hey, but it's marketing genius.
Speaking of a silent uninstall, I uninstalled Fantasy Star Online 2. That shit, yo, it's not because of the game. I actually like the gameplay, but like that Microsoft store is so buggy, bro. It deleted 2 of my characters. Like the game crashed on me one time. I've seen people also say in my chat that they're having tons of issues with it, bro. Stop putting games on the fucking Microsoft store because it ruined my experience. And like I was waiting to play that shit. Fuck the Microsoft store. I just want to say
but
that.
guess what though? The news just came out that mods are finally coming to the Microsoft store.
Man, ain't nobody doing all that, Doug. And then it's annoying too because in order to uninstall the game on the Microsoft Store, you have to go into your actual Windows settings. I can't even use a third-party uninstaller to get the residual files off your computer. So it's like, it's just mad extra, man. Stop. Put it on Steam, put it on Origin, put it on Uplay, something. Get that, or the Epic Game Store. Get it the fuck off the Microsoft Store because Microsoft.
I just don't understand why it's so bad. Like, what are they doing or not doing with this Microsoft Store? That like it's just literally like just not the place for any type of video game, like any type of AAA or 1A game. Like I don't get it.
Are you still playing that Ethos Fantasy Star Online too?
I honestly haven't played it since the first day that I booted it up. I've not had any like want to go and play it again because like I don't know. I've been spoiled. I literally played Star Wars and then I played Final Fantasy 14 at the same time I was playing this, and those 2 games are just way better than this.
Damn, I need to download SOTOR. You said.
Yeah, SOTOR is way better than that game.
Yikes!
Like it's not as action based as that, but like it's just story. Like if you want a good story, like,
yeah, good BioWare game.
The exact like it has the best story for any MMO. I'd still argue that to the grave.
Okay.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is really good too, so you win-win either way.
We had an hour and like 20 minutes. That's all I got on my podcast notes. I got anything else y'all want to add before we wrap it up?
Black Lives Matter.
Okay. All right. Well, you got the show floor, JG. If you're not adding anything, what's your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 99? Go.
Once again, it's another great episode. Sorry that we didn't get a guest, but we'll definitely work on something for the next episode. But I appreciate all the support that you all have been providing us. Like it's really been like a cool like couple months, just for like everybody. So again, thank you to everybody that listens. Thank you to everybody come to the Twitch streams. And yeah, buy some merch. It's out.
Yeah. All right, Ethos, what's your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 99? Go.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Kind of what JD said. Thanks everybody for all the support. We've really been feeling the love. I know it's an evil world we live in right now, and it always has been. But appreciate that. At least through all that, there's still some positivity. The Discord turning up. We see the love. We see all the care, and all y'all showing up and actually supporting us. So we really do appreciate it.
My closing statement for this episode is I would like to say, with all this Black Lives Matter stuff going on, all this COVID-19 stuff going on, Doja Cat, we didn't forget about you. You're a coon too.
We didn't forget about you.
Yeah, you're a coon too. Yeah. I just want to put that out there. Yo, that was like the perfect storm with all these protests going on. No, boo boo, we ain't forget about you. We know you. We know you a Bedouin. You be fucking Nazis and shit. Nah, get out of here,
we
dog.
didn't forget about that shit.
Yeah, fuck that. But this has been Gaming Illuminati episode 99. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to share it. Also be sure to support us on Patreon at patreon.com/GI updates. Once again, we have merch available. Merch is available. Go to designedbyhumans.com, type in the search bar Gaming Illuminati. Keep in mind, we spell Illuminati with the word naughty as in naughty or nice, and cop a GI t-shirt. That's designedbyhumans.com. Search Gaming Illuminati, and it's the first thing that'll come up. It's a GI versus everybody t-shirt. Cop that, support the movement. Shout out to everybody joining the Discord. The bands is up on the Patreon. Keep supporting. Shit, I got more subs than ever, actually. Like, the love has been real. It's crazy that it took an outbreak for you niggas to support us, but well, I'll take it. Whatever.
I'll take it.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all. This has been episode 99. We're going to holler at you. Bye.